my Zentangle friends. My name is Emmy and I am a CZT, which means I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. Today we're going to do a pattern on the 27th of November. How did that happen? Anyway, our pattern is, some people will pronounce it differently, but the pattern is Mysealiam. It is based on Rick and Maria's grandson, whose name is Liam, who likes all things under the sea. So they went ahead and decided to name this sea-like, organic-like pattern after their grandson, which is lovely. I believe they've done that with most of their grands and other ones too, like Molly Gone was for Molly and things like that. Anyway, I have an example of a finished one for you. I had a lot of fun doing this because it is so repetitive. It is really a wonderful learning and enjoying experience. So prepare just to enjoy your moment and relax, and I'll show you a couple of different techniques along the way too. Today's word or short phrase that I really found meaningful to me is because gratitude is also contentment to me. And I just think it's the most quiet bit of happiness that I can find at any age, and especially at this age. So I think many of you identify with this too. I love nothing more than being contented, and I'm so tickled to be here with you today and enjoying these things. So let's get started with Mysealiam. You only need your average usual supplies. And so the thing I'm going to do, and it's going to kind of fill one whole region up here. And I'm going to come like this. I'm going to make this kind of a smile down, up, and back. This is going to be a mini one, like those small ones that I did. Now there is a way that you can do this pattern two different ways. I'll show you the first way, Rick and Maria's way, which is how I was trained when I went to the training. They had this pattern as one of our Zenangle patterns, which is way cool, you know. So I'm going to start way low and bring my pen up like this to meet, and let it wonk, let it wave, and let it meet up with that smirky smile, as Maria says. From here, I'm going to branch off like this, darken these areas in, this is definitely a Calgon take me away moment, okay? So just enjoy the process. I'm going to come up here from the bottom, aura my first line, and branch out here. And then I'm going to come along and make another little spread or wide area and darken that in, and there is no right or wrong with this. You can definitely change it up as much as you want. What I mean to say is, like, if you think that's not wide enough or too wide, it's very easy to change this. I'm going to come along again and aura and branch out even further. And then I'm going to take an aura line off, darken it in, and I think I'll be able to do this again because I can easily change my smile. Is that possible? Can you change your smile? Anyway, I'm kidding. And I'll bring it out like this. And you see, I changed my smile. I'm going to turn it around because it'll be easier for my hand and maybe for you to see. And I'm going to come along here and branch off. Curve it as much or as little as you want. There is no right or wrong. I always like to work real light with my pen when I'm darkening, which means occasionally there will be these little tiny breakthroughs with my paper. That's okay too. Rick and Maria have a lovely tangle that they've done, an example tangle, about a 40-minute video that they've run. If you Google it, you'll find it, and it's really cool. I'm gonna aura all the way along again and branch way out. From here, I'm gonna come back, aura, and then widen. Fill is a wonderful, peaceful thing to do. Every single one of these that we do, whether we work together or not, are going to end up a little bit different depending on your pen and how it sees this. That was a little bit wide, so I'm going to come along here like this and thin it up just a bit. That is just the way my pen wants to wonk things. Yes, take a Calgon breath. It's holiday week. There's a lot going on, I know, but we allowed this little bit of time for ourselves, didn't we? Okay, there are two ways that you can do this. I have been known to make a tight aura line here, and that's perfectly acceptable. You can't tell that I did that on here. Maybe you can, I don't know. But I also did it on a couple of these other ones, but not all. So the other way is to start like we did here. Bring your marking down and mirror what you have going on here with this little tiny bit of light between. And then let your pen come back up. This is a very hard pattern to quit. It has ideas for us. I'm going to come along here like this and aim over here this time. Take it along so that I am mirroring my aura from my other one. The last line on the other side is what I'm saying. Darken. Whew, isn't it pretty? It's so pretty when you stop and look. Okay, take another line. Maybe I'll come all the way back to the top. Aura, 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 and down. Run my line along like this. It kind of auras around the other side in that way, and then back in. This is a one you could really get caught in, I think, and really enjoy your process. I think I don't want this to be any wider here, so I'm going to branch off from this region down here. Round that a little more. Not a ton of room to have on here. A little smoothing looks like it's in order, right? Isn't it pretty? Okay, we're going to do this again. I'm going to come the other direction and do the same thing. Aura. Down. Make a cross piece of where that would be likely to reflect, and then back up again. And darken. I knew you'd like this pattern. I knew you would if you haven't already played with it. And maybe you have. That's good too. I don't want to come too far up. I think that's as wide as I want that hat to be. So I'm going to come along here like this and just branch off. And you see I've already started this here. What a pretty, pretty pattern. Come across here like this, and maybe it'll just not go very wide at all, this one. Anyway, they're always going to be different depending on how your pen, you know, you just let your pen do what your pen wants to do. Isn't that the most fun? I think so. And I like that one too. This is a very fun thing. Like I can come across here again, you know, I feel like it doing that. So I think I will. Anyway, it's hard to say you're done with this pattern for sure. So let's get started, and we want to use one of our wide circles. Doesn't matter which one. Just grab the one that's most convenient for you. And so I think for me, this is the most convenient. And what I'm going to do is start with that smile again that turns into a bit, like Maria says, of a smirk. And you can do it toward the middle or toward the top. Does not matter. This is your work. And you can't get it wrong. No way. Okay. Let's get started by connecting the bottom from all the way down here with a straight line, or a curved line, excuse me, not straight at all, a wonky, curvy line that connects to here. With me so far? Let's go ahead and darken, spread that out, and darken here. Isn't it fun to draw together? I'm so grateful for you to be here and so that we can do this together. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, this time I want to come from the bottom, aura all the way up. Lift your pen as often as you need to. Come back here maybe a third of the way up or 2/3 of the way up, whatever you think works for you. And let's darken in here. Trying to make sure you can see this. It can be a little bit tricky on my camera once in a while. I hope you'll let me know though if I'm off base. Fun, fun, fun. I'm going to take a little more of that curve out of there. Let's do one more on this side. Let's do an aura up. Branch off when you're ready. And then maybe from back a little ways. That one didn't, that was interesting. I love how this worked. That's a lot different than I planned. But that's what I mentioned to you. This is, let's see what our pen has in mind today. Coming off of here, I'm going to branch off again. And I want to darken, not all the way. It's part of the way. Fun, isn't it pretty? Okay, if I turn my work, you should be able to see what I'm working on pretty easily, I hope. Starting here and coming up here. Gonna make an aura. Long, 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 long aura. And then coming back a little ways and starting where I want to thicken this. Fun. Let's start not too low, but bring our line in somewhere in this vicinity. Tight, and maybe branch out there, somewhere in there. There's no right or wrong, just like before. Don't forget to breathe. Take your time. Enjoy the process. I know sometimes when I'm working on this stuff, I swear I forget to breathe. This one's going to go wider too. Way out and reconnect. And then maybe from here, I could take it all the way back, whatever works on your paper. Fun, huh? And let's do this again. I actually want to do it that way this time so that I can see what's happening. A little easier for me in my hand. Ooh, 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 is that pretty? That's pretty in itself, don't you think? Okay, so let's start the other direction. Well, like I mentioned, you could just make the tightest little aura line along here to aim for if you want something concrete to aim for. But I'm going to go ahead with what I danced with before. So I'm going to make a long line that does not quite connect. I'm going to come back up here because I am auraing the one below. So now I need to darken in this little region here that I just created. Fun, huh? I think so anyway. Okay, you can go either way. What are you in the mood for? Make an aura line and down. This is always a little different because you start, when you're doing the top half, you start at the low area because you're trying to aura each of these that you brought into it. So here I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to come down and aura. Make that go along. Cut it off. Isn't that fun? You can take this as far as you want. I have enough going on here now, so I think I want this one to match up. You can easily change what's happening here with your pen. I've been so excited I forgot to show you how to shade. I'm sorry. Well, we'll do it on this one and then we'll go back and do the other one. It's because you really will want to know how to shade. Okay, back around. Or you'll want my ideas anyway that I got from Rick and Maria. So I'm going to come around because it's cute. Bring it along. And connect. Actually not, but even connecting, right? I hope that makes sense to you. Darken. It's very, very different each time you do this pattern. Coming back here. Easier this time to go from this area for me back here. And I know I want to darken where the top is. Whew. Relax your feet and your tongue. Enjoy this process and the joy of being together. I believe I can put a little one here. So many cool things to do with this pattern. It's very hard to tell what's up and what's down, isn't it? Okay, shading. So I've got my pencil. I'm going to shade on the bottom of this line, but I really don't want to bother with the black. I know I've mentioned to you before that just makes things shiny. It really does not shade very well. Maybe I'm going to shade down the middle of this. And you can easily go around some other areas too. But this is the main shading that you want to try to remember or try to fit in. If you like shading. Not everybody does. I understand. I shaded down the middle there, so I want to get a little line going on. Nice, huh? And that just really helps it come alive. You can shade more underneath if you want. I'm not sure I want. I don't want to push it. I really like what I have going on. Let's shade here. Okay, I got my pencil. I got my blender stump. This is the one we just did a minute ago. Excuse me, I'm shading on the underside. Of that silly smile and down the middle. This one, I'm going to shade along here just to show you an idea that you might be interested in trying without having to try it. I'm always sorry when I'm done with this pattern. It is so much fun. I think this is one that I'd only want to shade one side. I want it to have the illusion of laying on here. So you see I have a big white space, and that's on purpose. Okay, I'm going to grab my blender stump and push it around and push it out into my paper. I'm really lucky I bought some really good quality paper for this project, Gratitanglez with you. I want it to look like it's laying on here. I can go along both sides, but I really don't need to. You see how that looks lifted up? Push a little shading in, round and round. Mysealiam. Wasn't this fun? Thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed November 27th with you, and happy holiday week wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I hope it's peaceful, and I hope you have a good time. Thank you so much. I appreciate you very much, and I love your comments, and the money doesn't hurt either. Thank you so much. Bye.